Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast. Today, we're doing something a little special. We're having a Valley Voices episode. I'm Lindsay. That's Flex. And on the end, that's Espo. And joining us, our special guest, Brandon Condren, a.k.a. Suns Geek on Twitter and YouTube. Brandon, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing me here. This is overwhelming, but in the best way. And good to meet all three of you finally in
real life?
person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, we've done a couple shows, but it was virtual, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be here.
I'm hurt. I thought Lindsay was giving this nice recognition that I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
By
to
the way,
recognize
everybody,
Suns
Espo's
Geek.
back.
Oh, yeah. No, welcome. Glad to have you here and looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going
Absolutely.
to talk a lot of Suns basketball today, but I guess since we had a huge introduction for Suns Geek, we should throw a bone to Espo. Espo's out of jail, everybody.
I,
Jacob bailed him out,
No, it wasn't
and he is
Jacob.
back
It
at
was-
work. Thank
Emma
goodness.
actually came down and bailed me out. It was very nice of her. And funny enough, I did get arrested in Chicago while I was doing work for CHGO.
Oh, we'll see.
So yeah. I mean,
Lesson learned. That's what you get for going there.
Well, I'm going back. This is just a temporary stop so I could get my stuff and let my family know that's where I'm moving. And,
Oh, okay.
and going back there,
I
so.
see. I
Big
see.
bail too, like a mill, right? Was your bail?
Oh, it was more than that.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Put the whole house up for that
Okay.
one.
All right.
Okay. Well,
I put your house up.
best of luck to you, Espo. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns had their first preseason game of the 2023-24 NBA season yesterday. They beat the Detroit Pistons. Let's talk some of our biggest takeaways. Brandon, Espo, you two were not on our post-game show yesterday, so I'll have you guys start. Biggest takeaways.
This is going to be fun. That's my biggest takeaway. There's going to be a few learning curves here and there, and obviously no team is perfect. Every team's flawed in some areas, but it's going to be a lot of fun. If that first quarter wasn't a teaser trailer to what we're going to get, I don't know how else to analyze it or bring it up. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I vehemently disagree. There are teams that are perfect, and this may be one of them. No, look, a couple things caught me off guard, a few in a pleasant way. I thought, obviously, Grayson Allen in one preseason game, I think, started to earn the trust of certain Suns fans who may have been questionable
Yes.
about him being here. I heard what Gerald's quote was yesterday. I won't repeat it for fear of being censored. But look, it's good to see him come out and play the way that we hoped. That's exciting because if he is either that fifth starter or a sixth man off the bench with Eric Gordon, this is going to be a very interesting season if he plays with the potential that we saw last night or yesterday afternoon. I also was surprised he and Eric Gordon were the first two off the bench together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it would be others, but so I was surprised with that rotationally.
But when you really sit back and think about it, and all the rumors that we were hearing about how Grayson Allen was well, not even rumors, they told us that on Media Day straight up, that they targeted him and that he was a big part of this trade that actually pushed it through for the Suns. It's not as surprising. I think it might be surprising because none of us really expected Grayson Allen to be involved whatsoever. But it seems like from the Sun side of things, they were really high on him.
Yeah, the other thing that caught me off guard was KBD not getting in right away.
Yeah.
I thought for sure we've had this mental construct that this fifth starter spot is him or Okogie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I thought we'd see a lot more of him and earlier on than we did. So that caught me off guard because I really expected that to be kind of a showcase yesterday with Okogie getting the start. So that surprised me as well. And then Nurkic's fouls, I thought, were quite frankly crap. The moving screens were not moving screens. There's not a real great definition of what a moving screen in the NBA is if you've ever read the rules, but those were pretty
You can't touch anybody in the NBA anymore. It's an automatic foul. Like this foul.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like in preseason too, they're always a little bit harder on everything, right? Because that's where they test some things out. They sort of set the boundaries, if you will, and then they loosen up as the season goes on.
I would wonder if this was a point of emphasis. We always hear point of emphasis with these, or point of education, I think they call it. Yeah.
You know, it's another thing. People were talking about the 4 fouls. And guys, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like, first of all, I thought they were real tacky fouls. But here's the problem. Somebody went to Nurk and was like, bro, you're playing 12 minutes. And then you can go back in the locker room, shower, and chill on the bench for the rest of the game. So, damn, I got 6. I got 6 to waste in 12 minutes. Why not get 4? Like,
yeah,
so
but
that's
3 of the 4 weren't really fouls.
They weren't. You're right.
He got the Mark West treatment.
Yeah, they weren't fouls, and he didn't care because he knew he was only going to play a quarter and a half.
You got 6. You may as well use them. I only have 15 minutes. We got to get these in quick.
There you go, Lynn. So I keep it. Last night I had people in the DMs talking about he don't play defense. Look how many fouls he got. I'm like, bro, are y'all seriously going there? The dude knew he was going to be in street clothes in 15 minutes. Yeah. Like, come on, man.
You're not fully mentally engaged in the game. Yeah.
Well, you and I were talking about it beforehand, Flex. Defense is the last thing that comes around, right? There were some weird drop coverages and picks where he kind of got caught in no man's land. He's been here a week.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you got to earn the trust with teammates, understand who's going to be where, what Vogel wants in these rotations. I'm not worried about that. What I loved was his passing.
Yeah.
And Flex, you brought this up too, is bringing the ball up a couple times. We had a couple nice pick handoffs. Like, these are the little things that they brought him in for. Why he was a fit with the system was what we heard media day, and that was the big thing. Well, you saw little flashes of that, and the offense operated as well as it did in that first quarter, in part because of those little things that Nurkic was doing.
Exactly. 46 points. Nurk's on the court. You gotta put that in the equation. You have to sit down and say, okay, you're going to take the positive and the negative from offense and defense. I think he brings way more positive on the offensive end. There's going to be some issues on defense, and like you said, a defense, I think, Lens, comes last because you got so many players and rotations and different mixtures that you really can't judge a defense in the preseason. No. Offense comes first, and then the defense will settle in eventually.
Well, yeah, because you could even, if you really wanted to go and nitpick everything, you could probably point out to the other 4 players on the court, were they playing as hard and aggressive of defense as we will see them play in the regular season?
Correct.
Probably not, because why would you? It's the preseason. Right. You're playing 15 minutes. The whole purpose of the preseason is to get your legs underneath you and to not get hurt when you're a superstar.
Right.
Work out the kinks as well. I feel like there's just a lot of good unknown. Like, we were talking about the rotations earlier, and now we're talking about Nurkic and everything. It's like it's really exciting to see how this is all going to work. But there's a lot of kinks that still need to be worked out as well, in my opinion. But it's going to take some time. Offense first, get your legs under you, like you said. Figure it out later.
Can Therapist Espo step out for a second?
Oh, boy.
The people yesterday in particular that wanted to complain about this game, may I offer a counterpoint?
Okay.
The glasses off.
The Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah.
There's your counterpoint.
I mean,
a year ago this time, we were licking our wounds from losing to a team from Australia and being the laughingstock of the NBA in the first preseason game. Now we're talking about a dominant first half with 3 superstars.
Yeah.
So, you might as well just sit back on the couch. If you want to complain, that's fine. I'll listen to you. But then I'm going to remind you, things could be a hell of a lot worse than that.
Can I ask you something, Espo? Let's go there.
That's part of the show.
Let's go there, brother.
Yeah, let's go there.
You bring up that first game. Who was the center on that basketball team in that first game that we lost to the 36ers or whatever they were?
I believe that was one DeAndre Dominatin.
Was it?
I think I've heard of him
You sure?
before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Right?
I thought so too. I mean, that team came in here and spanked us.
Flex, the Shady Rays ad is in for another 30
my
minutes.
Bad. Go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
That's the thing I don't like, though, is we're going to get into this well, don't give me DeAndre Ayton, because you were the same people that were giving me DeAndre Ayton isn't doing this.
Right.
Like, it's one preseason game. Nurkic did the little things that you wanted, and you move on.
That's it.
You know, like, other than the 12 minutes the starters played and a few of the outlying things like Yuta Watanabe. I go back all the way to
Right.
the early 2000s, but like you look at those, like you look at what he did, those little things in the second half, and you're like, okay, I like those things, but out of little things in the second half and what you saw in that first quarter that the offensive potential this team has, the rest of it's a wash. I mean, the Pistons came back in the fourth quarter because the Suns were playing their fourth stringers.
Exactly.
Oh, dear Lord, we don't have 4 deep at every position.
Right.
And
they still won.
Well, and I mean, think about it. Even if you look earlier into the game, more than likely with this team, we will always see one of the big three on the court. And we didn't see one of the big three for almost 3 whole quarters of this game.
Right.
Like it's going to look different.
Yeah.
It's going to look absolutely different. And one thing, Jason from the chat said, Ish Wainwright not getting minutes. Every single player that was available yesterday played in the game. Ish is hurt.
Yep.
Jordan Goodwin is hurt. And Damian Lee is hurt. So that's why Ish didn't see any playing time yesterday. But every other player who was available to play saw some minutes yesterday.
Can I make a bold prediction as well?
Yes.
That's the one and only time we will see Saban Lee take a game-winning shot. I think that's safe to say.
I think also, too, like the Detroit Pistons were playing hard because obviously it was the first preseason game. It was the first game under Monty Williams. So, they wanted it more, in my opinion. And again, they're playing our third, fourth stringers. Like, there's only so much we can fully analyze and go over with, again, pretty much a half with our big three. You know what I mean?
It's a glorified practice, Lynn.
I mean,
it's a glorified practice, man. This is nothing different than what the Suns are doing at the 5G Verizon Center, except there's cameras and fans. That's what's going on.
I'd argue they're playing against better competition.
It might be
5G practice center. So.
Might be, but it's a glorified practice, and
but
so
that's how it is for every team.
Yeah,
that's
everyone.
just preseason.
This is preseason. Like, I'm looking at the little intricacy. I'm looking at the stuff Gerald pointed out yesterday when he made his comment. If Yuda's gonna do that, oh shit, right? So there was a play yesterday. Yuda brings the ball up. I went back and watched the film. He brings the ball up. He hits Eric Gordon. Gets a dribble handoff, takes 2 dribbles, goes into the paint, shoots a jumper.
Fuck it.
I mean, it's like, that's the stuff we need to be talking about, not the other stuff. Like, the people already saying this team's not going to be a defense. I'm like, how the hell did y'all come to that conclusion after a preseason game in Detroit when all your players were in dress clothes in 12 minutes? Yeah, like, come on, man, stop that.
Well, it's called Monday overreacting for something, right? There's a reason why we named it what we named it.
Tomorrow, it's the Nuggets. I'm taking everything seriously.
All right, before we get into the Nuggets, hold on. We'll get into the Nuggets in a second. But before we move on to that game, there is something else from this game that I do want to touch on. And somebody in the chat had mentioned it. Espo, this is your time to shine. I can't find the comment, but somebody said, oh, here we go, Leo. Leo said, Espo, they brought back the pregame classic music.
Let me say this. Matt Ishbia, you are just next level. I know this wasn't Matt Ishbia. This is actually a shout out to the Suns TV crew and the broadcast department over there. After years, decades with Bally Sports and Fox Sports Arizona, which officially announced they are going out of business today, which is sad in a lot of ways. But after years with them and having to use their graphics packages, their sounders, all the music, it was so unbelievable. Like, before the game, I tweeted, I'm a nerd. Basically, I'm a nerd. I'm looking forward to seeing what the graphics package is. And then I subsequently tweeted, I really hope they bring back the 90s music, asking for, friends that are 35 years or older that remember that music. Well, they didn't disappoint. They came out the gates with beautiful, crisp graphics. Everything looked clean. No longer do we have like 3 bars at the bottom of the screen where you can't see the bottom of the court. The music on point. They brought back the classic 90s. I heard there may be more coming to that for the regular season.
Because you can't show off all of the things that you have in store on the first preseason game.
I'm going to say people are going to be happy. And I give a huge shout out to the entire crew over there that did an unbelievable job. They had a Herculean task of basically building everything from scratch this off season, putting it all together. It looked spectacular. I mean, just like for the Suns as a team, that was game one preseason for them as well as a broadcast crew, and with everything new there. Great work on that front. And it's preseason. I usually don't get excited. I usually don't get the warm and fuzzies from watching preseason. I legit, in that first half and the first time I heard that music, felt like a little kid that was a fan again watching it, because music and those little touches harken back to those memories. And the only reason that any of us are sitting here is because we have those memories, whether if it's not about the Suns, it's about basketball from when you were young and why you want to be in this. And that somehow tapped right into it for me. It was like straight adrenaline hit to the brain. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I fell in love with the game. It didn't hurt that they shot 81% from the field, 80% from three in the first quarter to really jazz it up. But the music was so freaking great to hear again. And I think we're all going to be even more excited when the regular season starts.
I just remember Tom Leander name dropped it quickly during one of the media day interviews. And then my friend Steve and we were psyched when he said that, because it just brought back those flashbacks and the memories and everything.
I wasn't out here for that. So I didn't get it the effect you got, but I can appreciate it. Like watching NBA on NBC when I was a kid. You hear the you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you hear that, it takes you back, and it again, it reminds you of why you love this game and why we do what we do, and what made us fall in love with it. So that's cool for you. That's cool for everybody. I mean, everybody was excited yesterday.
I think if there's one thing that was no secret, but if there were any doubters, last year proved, probably with just the sheer numbers alone, people like throwback stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you gave us the throwback jersey. Everyone loved it. I'm pretty sure they sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So if anything, you can look at that and be like, well, clearly anything throwback is going to be a hit.
That's a great point.
Because even if you weren't there, you appreciate the fact that it's vintage or throwback.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's trendy right now, no matter what decade you were born in.
Fun fact, I found this out from my buddy Jeff Munn, who used to be the PA announcer back in the 90s.
Cleveland, right?
No, he was here.
Oh,
PA
he was here, okay.
announcer for the Suns. He said that the group that created that also created, I believe it was the Wheel of Fortune and maybe the Price is Right theme songs as well. So there's like, I'll dig into it more. I'll give you all the story behind it at some point. But I was like, okay, that's a cool little nugget too. So
they flexing on that one.
Yeah.
That's a flex.
So,
yeah.
No pun intended.
Nah, no pun intended.
You know who else was flexing yesterday? Matt Ishbia. So the team stayed in Detroit after the game so that they could take a tour of UWM and have a practice out there. Matt Ishbia wanted to show off his digs in Detroit, let the team know what's up.
Oh, they had dinner at his house too. Like, let's not forget that flex too.
Oh.
He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
so
team
fancy.
broadcast. Yeah, I got enough space. Come on over. Let's have a meal. Like, so.
I thought that was a fun. That's why they were all in street clothes. They had to hurry up and get over to Matt Ishbia's house for dinner that night. But that's kind of cool. It's not really a huge groundbreaking thing by any means, but it is still nice that the team and everybody was able to, support Matt Ishbia in that. I'm sure he geeked out over it. I'm sure being able to have a team that he finally owns and host them at his place.
Yeah.
Gotta be pretty neat.
Can you show the second photo again, Emma, of them playing on the court, practicing on the court here? What I love, this photo is inside the UWM offices. They have a full basketball court. The Suns are practicing. Ooh. Well, all these employees of Matt Ishbia are on the sideline, on the upper deck of this, just watching these guys practice. They're feet away from Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and these guys' regular life is mortgage brokers. Like, that's got to be a real cool little perk that they got today. And, kind of cool for the Suns to get to know their owner in that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool as hell. Listen, Matt Ishbia is impressive. This is a guy that and people have talked about this, but I just want to remind people, this is a guy that left college, got out done with college, went and worked for his father. There were 12 people that worked for that company when Matt Ishbia came in, and now there's 7,000. He's built a machine over there. That campus, it's unbelievable, man. And so for him to do that, and for the people that work for that company to be up there and see that, and they play tournaments on that court. Like Matt plays still. Like he still plays. He runs tournaments and he'll play in a tournament versus his workers. And so for that, man, that's cool as hell.
Who draws the defensive assignment on, I got to guard the president of the company that's a billionaire?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Let me lock him down.
A little bit of a hard foul, and it's like, oh, my bad. Hold on.
Like,
you're fired. You're done.
It's like, I'm drawing the former college athlete who's the billionaire now. Yeah, let me play some defense on him.
It's like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, for me personally, I don't know if you guys have talked about it much, but like Matt Ishbia, Josh Bartelstein, I can tell they truly care about people and their employees. Like they will walk around, shake everybody's hand. A lot of bigger bosses and bigger companies don't do that.
Yeah.
So for me personally, that's sort of my biggest takeaway. But again, you're right. Like these people walk into work and all of a sudden Kevin Durant's practicing on their court and they're watching all the stars. That must have been amazing. You know what I mean?
I saw something with Sean this weekend, Sean Marion, and Matt's just doing such an incredible job. I know you said he wasn't in charge of the music thing, but it feels like he probably was because
I'm sure he had to sign off.
What I'll say is he's greenlit a lot of spending in that department that they were constricted in the past, which allows them to do the creative things that you wouldn't have been able to do before.
I saw something with Sean Marion, and he said the day Matt bought the team, he called him. Straight up picked up the phone and said, I want to talk to Sean Marion. Think about that. Buys a team, says, Sean, we love you. You the Matrix. You helped set this foundation. I was watching you play for the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to retire your number. You know, that's just a guy that gets it, man. Sean even talked about in that interview how he wanted to go to the 5G Center and say, what's up? He still lives in Phoenix. He has a house out here. But he didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
he's not the only ex-employee that didn't feel comfortable going.
So I just love what Matt's doing. And this is you just see the team looks happy, man. They look happy. And that's a cool thing for them to do out there.
It is. It's super cool. Okay. Before we get into tomorrow's game against the Nuggets, which I know you guys are itching to talk about, I do want to ask you guys a quick question. Do you like getting free money?
Hell yeah.
No, I like to work for my money.
I mean, listen, I don't know anybody who would willingly just say no if somebody was trying to offer you free money. And that's exactly what our friends over at the BetMGM Sportsbook are trying to do here. It's really simple. All you have to do is sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app by using the bonus code PHNX. Then you place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook app of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. I mean, listen. Of all the deals, like this is the deal. So take advantage of it. That promo code again is PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
And of course, our friends over at OG's, they make the best scratch-made THC gummies you can get your hands on. You can check them out by going on social at OG's Brands. You can also find them online at ogsbrands.com to find a local dispensary near you. They've got all the fruits in the mixed bag, so you can get all the different types of fruit flavors that they have to offer. You can get the creams in the mixed bag variety as well, so all the different cream flavors that they have to offer. And of course, both the fruits and the creams are available in Sunny Sativa or Mellow Indica blends, so you can fully customize your OG's experience. But just a reminder, you do have to be 21 or older, and we do ask that you enjoy responsibly. Okay, we do have a super chat real quick. This one is from Jacob. Thank you so much, Jacob. They said, Allen should be our sixth man, but he should also close games. And we have depth, so Book, KD, Beal should only average 30 to 32 minutes in the regular season.
I don't disagree with the Allen sixth man and potentially closing out some games, but it's going to depend on the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're going to need defense.
Yeah, you're going to need a Kobe.
I mean, sometimes you're going to need Eric Gordon and his ability to get to the hoop and use that old man strength.
Yep.
So I think he definitely will at times, but the 30 to 32, I just don't see that. Look, this is Book, this is KD, this is Beal. These are guys that want to be out there.
Yeah.
I think 35 maybe is a number that you look at and you go, I can live with that, and it should keep their fire burning that way too. But
I feel like this is kind of similar to when we were talking about K debates Diop or Josh Okogie being the starter in a way. It's like, who do you bring off the bench first? But it's like, it does change game from game in different scenarios. And we don't know what other coaching schemes are going to look like. And Frank Vogel is like a kid in a toy store. He's like, he got so many different options out there. It's take it game by game, figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to keep KD specifically if we're pointing one of the big
That's a good
three.
point.
That's a little bit lower.
fair.
It wouldn't be mad if KD only played 30 minutes a game during the regular season.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's no shade. He's just the oldest one of the three. It's just math.
It's simple
It's
math.
simple math.
You're
Yeah.
35, you're 30, you're 26.
Yeah.
Don't point at Lindsay
No,
and
I-
say you're 35.
I'm not 35.
Uncalled
Lindsay's
for.
not 35.
I'm 48. Thank you very much.
But like, how do you tell Kevin Durant, like, no, you're going to play this amount of minutes? Because these guys do want to play, especially Kevin Durant.
If there's a guy that could do it, I think Frank Vogel has the juice because
Yeah.
he has won a title. He did it with superstars. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, okay, maybe I'll listen to that a little bit more. And that's not necessarily a slight on Monty, but this is a guy that won a title, a handful of years ago with LeBron, with AD, and did it his way. So maybe.
And whether KD's true to his word or not, didn't Kevin Durant say, I'll do whatever Frank Vogel tells me to do?
Right.
So we'll see.
I think there's a way that you could make it happen for
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Tomorrow, second preseason game. Suns play the Nuggets. It's happening here in Phoenix. What are your guys' expectations on this one? How do you think they approach it? Same as yesterday or a little different?
I don't play any of my superstars. I disrespect the defending champs that way, and just be like, nope, we're not putting them in that situation. No, I think it's going to be the same thing we saw the other day. And yeah, it's the Nuggets. We all feel a certain way about it, but again, it's preseason.
Mhm.
Call me when these two teams line up, in the regular season, in that midseason tournament, when it matters. But right now, there's very simple things you care about. Nobody gets injured.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you figure out what the back half of that bench is going to be? Who's your rotation guys? Who are the two men out? Because there will be two cuts that happen out of this group to get to your roster. So those are the things I'm concerned about. I could care less that it's the Nuggets tomorrow.
It's
Yeah.
also too, like, there's 5 guys back from last year's team, so that all these new guys they didn't experience what we did in the second round and all that. I still want them to play hard. I might sort of overanalyze what they're going to do on defense tomorrow. I might want to see a bit more scrappiness because I feel like there was a few times last game where they were like swarming players, and I like that. I want to see a little bit of that. But again, every game's different, every team's different. How long does Nikola Jokic play? We'll see. But I want to see what they're going to do on defense and how long they're going to play our big three. I think that's going to trend all preseason.
I mean, somebody in the chat was like, if the Nuggets don't play their main guys, we shouldn't play ours either.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at that idea.
I want to see some Gordon on Gordon crime too. I want to see Eric Gordon dunk on Aaron Gordon. I'll call it.
How many times do you think tomorrow we accidentally call Eric Aaron and Aaron Eric?
Oh, I will not, because I dislike Aaron that much. So
I feel like it's going to happen.
I think the first 5 minutes of this basketball game is going to be pretty much all you need to watch as far as the juices and stuff. I think they're going to come out for 5 minutes, both teams, and try to send a subliminal message. 5 minutes. And everybody's going to go chill out, and it's going to be evaluation time all over again. I heard somebody say to me yesterday, he said, Flex, don't overreact. They just beat up on the Pistons. Wait till Tuesday. Wait till then.
We're gonna hear that all season.
We can
too.
overreact
Yeah.
against the Nuggets in preseason.
I'm sitting here like, man, come on, man. Nobody's going out there trying to kill anybody on Tuesday. It's a glorified practice, different uniforms, different arena.
So Saban Lee is going to take our last shot again?
No,
Is that what you're
listen,
saying?
my man Mezzi. Hey, so I know he's listening. Mezzi won the game for us.
14 points.
You know what I'm saying? Like he hit the 2 free throws, right, Lance?
Yep.
And Liz was right there. I was calling it the whole time. I'm like, Mezzi's the closer. That's my guy. So yeah.
Also, how nice is it to actually be able to watch preseason?
Oh,
That
yeah.
too.
When I
It's been a
worked for
long
the
time.
team, I had to listen to road games
Yeah.
in preseason on the radio to tweet from.
Is that
There's
right?
nothing more painful than
that
having to tweet based off of
Yeah.
off of the radio.
If the opposing team didn't have some sort of a broadcast, and
So y'all couldn't watch preseason out here?
No,
No.
you
Oh,
showed up to the
wow.
arena or you listen on radio. Those
Damn,
were your
so
two
everything
options.
everything is shifting since I got
Everything's
here.
different.
I think we
it's
got
you,
some-
Flex. It's you, Flex. Let's inflate that ego.
No,
a
no,
little
no,
bit
no.
more.
That's it.
Flex
No.
is $6 problems.
No, listen,
everybody.
that's a joke that one of my followers said. That he was like, "Yo, Flex gets here, the Diamondbacks are going to win the World Series."
I mean,
Flex gets
listen.
here, we all watching Suns TV, and so that
Espo,
was
if you're our jinx, he could be our good luck
Fle-
charm. That's
Flex.
fine.
yeah. What's up with
The
that?
balance
Espo?
take us out.
You will
balance it out, bro.
you were blessed to live on the East Coast and to see so much winning.
Yeah,
But outside of the Suns, I think you may be a little disappointed this year. So
We'll see.
I like the D-backs.
We'll see.
but-
Okay. The one thing that I do want to see a little bit tomorrow is just a little bit more from KBD and
Yeah.
Nasir
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah.
I think those are the two guys that everyone has high hopes for, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to take some time. I don't think either one of them, it was a given that they would come in here and immediately pop off right away. But
Right.
I'd like to see them feel a little bit more confident, a little more comfortable out
Yeah.
there than we saw yesterday. So those are
Agreed.
two guys I'll keep an eye out for.
yeah, I'd like to see you to repeat on the defensive end in
Mhm.
particular because he was very good in game one defensively. So much so that even Frank Vogel said he was better defensively than he was offensively, and he was pretty good offensively. I wanna see that again because I'm a believer in the defense from Utah, but I know others need to continue to see it, and
Yeah.
I want to prove that early on.
Can I just say one more thing on that?
Mhm.
So when I watched the film last night, I got to see Grayson actually bringing the ball up a little bit, and two interesting things. I saw Grayson defending point of attack.
Okay.
Okay, on Cade, on Keelan, kind of in the Josh Okogie role. And I saw it, like when you're watching it live, everything's happening so fast.
Yep. Yeah.
When you go back and look at the tape and you see it, it makes me wonder how much he's thinking about what we were talking about. Like you mentioned it the other day, you were like, Grayson could start. And I didn't know if he can do it, but I saw it on tape yesterday, and I'm like, okay, he's playing a Josh Okogie role in the second half here. Maybe you on to something. So I wonder if that's a little battle, a private behind the scenes battle between Okogie and Grayson, and Frank is just throwing out these little nuggets.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a battle between quite a few of them, to be
Yeah,
completely
exactly.
honest. I still think that I would prefer Grayson coming off the bench, but it wouldn't surprise me if
I
he
want
earned
Grayson
that
off
starting
the
role.
bench.
Yeah.
I want him off the bench, but I think what we saw yesterday makes me feel like
he could
he
at
may
least,
be
at the very
auditioning
least.
for that. Yeah.
You know, my favorite Grayson play was yesterday was his inbound to Utah. He
Mhm.
went cross court, threw a dime, and
Yeah.
Utah hit that three.
He was wide open too.
That was pretty. So,
I feel like with guys like Grayson Allen, like when we first got Josh Okogie too, I was like, you need these guys in practice. Like, at the time when we got Josh Okogie, we didn't have Kevin Durant, if I remember correctly, but still, you need kind of guys like Josh Okogie, Grayson Allen, even Utah, because these are guys that are going to challenge and, there's going to be a lot of battles we may not hear about in practice that are going to show how deep this team truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, we're going to
Yeah.
talk about this over the next couple of weeks, but just overall, what are your expectations for this upcoming season for the Suns?
It might sound cliche, but championship or bust.
Okay.
Think about it. New owner, new ownership, and front office people, and everything we got going on. New superstar player in Bradley Beal, a great bench. It has to be championship or bust. And it's, I think what did Kevin Durant or Devin Booker just say yesterday? It's like we don't win a ring, like we're going to get pounced on.
That was KD.
So,
yeah.
yeah, KD. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and I think we all feel that. I still think this is a 2-year window, though.
Yeah.
Win this year, next year, you win one of those two, everybody goes, everything that happened was worth it, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
You don't win in those
Of
2
course.
years. Yeah, but we're getting all the 5 years from now, like, and even national people are jumping on. Well, you've mortgaged the future. The future is promised to nobody. So if one of these 2 years you
Preach.
pull it off, I do think this year is the one that if you don't want to go into next year, having everybody talk their stuff about you, you got to win this one. But I think you have a 2-year window where, in hindsight, it'll be all right.
While I do agree that it'll be worth it, I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't concern me a little bit down the road. Just because, yeah, I'll trade it away for a championship, sure. But I also don't want to have like another decade of the bad place. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
agree with
yes,
you.
I want that championship more, but I also hope there's like a little bit of balance at some point in time in the near
All right.
future to where
2-year
we're
window.
not in another decade of like 19
Okay,
win
so
seasons.
can I throw some at you?
Sure.
Would you buy a championship this season for 5 of that?
Yeah, 5 I'll
Okay.
do.
All right,
I'll do 5.
So I think that's realistic, though.
But like 5 is fine, but a decade is a whole nother.
well, we don't
like,
have.
we can't go from one decade to another decade with just
yeah.
no.
I don't care. You give me the championship this year and being in the mix and maybe a second one next year, and you can give me 20 years
Damn,
of the
Espo.
bad place. Look,
Espo, I'm gonna need you to stop because what you say oftentimes comes true.
This franchise.
If that's true, don't continue.
I'm not
Lindsay,
listening. I'm not
Lindsay,
listening.
you and I are retiring if they win 2 in a row. They all can deal with whatever happens the 20 seasons after that. My point is, when you've been through what you've seen from this franchise, I've been through it for 33 years now.
Yeah.
There's some people that have been through it for all 55.
Yep.
A title is all that matters.
I know.
And again, the future's not promised to any of us. California could fall in the ocean tomorrow. I don't know. But, so give me a title now because I don't know what's going to happen 2 or 3 years
Preach.
from now.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
No,
I'm
you're
not.
not.
I'm not
No,
saying
you're
that I
not.
wouldn't. I want a championship. All I'm asking is that the people getting paid the big bucks behind the scenes maybe just consider thinking about the future a little bit. That's all.
I would have 20 years in the bad place for every franchise in this city if it meant a Suns title this year.
Whew,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Matt is the secret weapon with that. I just think we're not dealing with Robert Sarver.
Preach.
I
And
get
so-
that, but the rules have changed, which is super unfortunate as Suns fans because we finally got an owner in here with deep pockets who's willing to just throw money around like it's nothing. And the NBA is like, well, now that the Suns can play ball,
Right.
let's actually punish them in other ways that money can't fix.
I love that we asked
Rude.
Brandon, hey, what's your hope for this season? He's like,
And then we just
championship.
went down this rabbit
and
hole.
Lindsay's like, no, it could
no.
cost us for 10
I
years.
didn't say no. I said yes and.
I'm sorry that you're the guest here. We're supposed to be nice, and Lindsay just decides to just burn everything to the ground. About
I'm
what
super
you said.
offended. I think I got to step out.
Listen, you know what this means. This just means that you're officially in our inner circle. That's what that means.
I'm honored.
So congratulations. Welcome
you.
to the club. We're happy to have you here. Also, that is an ad transition. You can join Circle K's Inner Circle today by downloading the free Circle K app. The Inner Circle is a brand new free membership program, and it saves you 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You also get every 6th free on a selection of Circle K products like pizza, coffee, and ice-cold fountain drinks, and so much more. So download that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also, if you are looking for a great patio to enjoy a tasty beverage or some delightful food, might I recommend our friends over at Illegal Pete's. I'm so happy that it is finally patio season. Things are cooling down. This weekend was a little bit hot, I'm not going to lie, but the forecast looks great for this upcoming weekend. So take advantage of the cooler weather and check out Illegal Pete's. They've got happy hour every single day at all 12 locations from 3 to 8 p.m. They are your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer, and they have been for 28 years. Okay, we do have a super chat from Jay. Thank you, Jay. They said, this is why we missed you, Espo. The shenanigans.
I'm glad somebody acknowledged that they missed me because nobody else has said that today. So thank you, Jay.
That was the first thing I said to you when we got out of
I meant on the show.
Emma said it.
Emma, we'll talk later. I'm not.
Emma speaks for all of us on this.
Lindsay's like, I don't have to say it. Emma said it.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Emma said it. You're
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Happy to be back and setting fires.
So, guys, Devin's getting more love lately, and he's also getting more hate lately. But since we already went down a dark path, we'll start with the love. We'll keep things a little bit lighter here in this next segment. Obviously, we all know that Drake put out a new album that popped off this weekend, and he gave even more love to Devin Booker, which you love to see. But the best thing that came out of this was this tweet. So somebody had tweeted at Devin and said, I just know Devin Booker is listening to the new Drake album and flexing in the mirror right now. Which, one, hilarious. But the best part is Book quote tweeted it and said, WTF, how you know?
So good.
My boy.
Like, could you, I can literally see this now. Like, this creates such a visual. That's so funny.
The only way it would have been better is if he tweeted a picture of him flexing in the mirror with it. Otherwise, pitch perfect. Love it. It's fantastic. But isn't this old hat for him now, though? This is the second time.
No, but this is different because the other time was just like a little punchline. This is like a hook.
Right.
This is like my doggy got booked for acting like Book. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, so there were Book only had like one line before in a Drake, and it was just wet like I'm Book.
Wet like I'm Book.
And that's it. He has
But
4.
right after, he also says wet like I'm Lizzie. So he brings up both.
Yeah.
They're two different athletes within that same line. Obviously, everyone forgets the Liz shout out in there, but
I'm not going to be
two
picky.
athletes in the same line.
If I get shouted out in a rap, I'm going to be very happy about that. Whether it's a bar, whether it's just the Espo randomly said in there and it has nothing to do with me, I'm going to be excited.
I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't have been excited. It was cool at the time, but this is just a whole nother level. And it also speaks to how much their relationship has grown.
Yeah.
Where it feels like the first one was like, we're still, we're cool, but we're not on like that level. Now it's like they're in each other's inner circles, basically, is how it feels. He's getting more and more respect from different artists all around music in general. So
I've heard Devin Booker say a couple times, like I was at Drake's house the other day or whatever.
No, they family at this
exactly.
point. They're like brothers, man. So
but
and they've always been that way though, Lance. I think
your relationships grow and evolve.
It's gotten a lot better. But I think it's gotten to the point Drake wants to come out here and live.
Okay, I call BS on this because didn't he just say that in another city?
He did say that in another city. He did say it.
Was it Houston?
Yeah, but
Houston
no. But I'm gonna keep it real. He did say that in another spot, but I'm gonna confirm that what he said out here.
Okay.
And KD and Book don't live in Houston. So
I agree.
That's the difference.
I will give Drake the benefit of the doubt. He could buy a house both in Phoenix and in Houston.
He could almost buy both cities.
It watered it down
when he
after he said it in another city. And I'm like, okay, so this is just another stick. Like you wearing the jerseys of whoever plays there. Like I'm not buying it anymore.
He might be at opening night on Saturday.
He should be.
Well, Utah. Yeah, not this Saturday. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
28th. Don't be surprised you see my boy Drizzy at that game.
I just got to say this, and I think it was Gemini P in the chat brings it up too. Book ain't got nothing on KD, though. KD got an A&R line on that, right? Where he got that credit actually in there. So Book may be mentioned, but KD's getting credit, right?
Fair, but you could also ask the question on the flip side if we're comparing apples to oranges here. Does Devin want to be in that space? Because Kevin has talked about that for a while now, wanting to be in that producer type of space.
I know.
So.
I'd rather be the man behind the man than the name being said by the man. So.
Did y'all hear Dylan Brooks get name dropped?
No.
Y'all ain't hear that
that one?
Yeah.
You're just gonna gloss over the bar that Ezra just dropped on us?
My bad, dog. Hey man, you on your way, dog. You are on your way, I tell you.
I don't need a rapper to do the bar for me.
You are on your way, bro.
Oh my goodness.
My man Dylan Brooks got dropped too, but not in a good way, I don't think. And that's a Canadian dude too. Let's just let people go back and watch. Listen to the album, guys.
I don't believe that Dylan Brooks is a Canadian. He'd be the meanest Canadian I've ever seen. I need to see the birth certificate that proves that Dylan Brooks.
Oh, because
is a
everybody's
Canadian.
nice. Because everybody's nice.
Canadians are nice,
are so
apparently.
nice. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, and Dylan Brooks does not fit that. Does not fit that at all. So.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's pivot and tap into the hate that D-Book is getting. This one popped off today. Paul George had a conversation with Taylor Rooks over on Bleacher Report, and he had some things to say.
I know that obviously you and Devin had this moment about the Klay Thompson interview. Is there anything that you would want to clear up about that moment? Have you all been able to speak? Is the root of this that?
I mean, I just, I don't know where it took the turn. I don't know where it took the turn. Things got heated when we played Phoenix. Conversation sparked. And it wasn't, it came from that end. Again, this goes down to respect line. And me and Devin always been good. He was little bro when he came in the league, and then all of a sudden, temperature changed. And to where now it's a line that was passed, stepped over the line. And so like now it's just, it is what it is at this point. But, to go off that question, it was just, me asking Klay, he said, obviously it was about that moment, and I forget what question I asked him, but his answer was his answer. I wasn't looking to, if you've watched the pod, I'm never looking to do clickbait stuff or, have someone say something that's going to raise questions. He answered it from an honest perspective that he, as another young man in this game, making a name for himself, making a way, paving a way, like whatever Klay's answer was, that was his answer. Cool.
Right.
I wasn't looking to pick or dig. I would have said something myself if that was the case. But again, he took it upon himself to be seen or heard in that moment. Cool. Now it is what it is. It's stuck. If it's up, then it's stuck.
No, I mean, I get it. Like I said, I have somewhat been in that position before. I think you're great. I think Devin is great. I would love for there to be some sort of, resolution. But as you said, things can always be resolved on a basketball court. So
absolutely.
PG, keep my man's name out your damn mouth. How about you try that, buddy? You're 0-2 in the playoffs against this guy. Shut it. In the bubble, Book embarrassed you and Kawhi right in your face in a game winner. Shut it. Do your talking on the court. Don't do it on your podcast or whenever you want because Book's not there to respond. Keep my man's name out your damn mouth.
Damn.
Get him, Espo.
Damn.
Get him.
I don't know what to say. I was going to say all of that. Hey, no, for real, I'm going to echo that. Like, it's soft at this point to me. Like, you lose street cred because of stuff like this, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, Book ain't talking about you, bro. Like, you see, here's the thing, Linz. In that interview, he could have took a whole different road there.
He could have.
He could have been like, man, listen, that's in the past, man. It is what it is. Move on. But he chose to have a 2-minute
rant
about Devin Booker, which tells me that Book's under his skin a little bit. And I think it's soft as hell because he's not like that. I'm going to say that. How about that? APG, you know you're not like that, bro. You're not built like that, bro.
That's the same thing that Devin said.
Devin told you a couple years ago and you got mad, and I'm going to tell you again, you're not built like that, homie. Cut it out.
You know why his nickname's PG-13? Because the man doesn't have the balls to go R-rated.
Oh,
and Devin Booker will go R-rated on your ass. Just go look at the playoff matchups against the Clippers.
Oh, man.
Espo said, I came back from vacation and I am rested and picking all the fights today.
Keep my man's name out your damn mouth.
So
Espo bringing
I think the biggest beef that I have with this whole thing is that, and we put it on the quote graphic, he said he took it upon himself to be seen or heard in that moment. It is what it is. As if like Devin just came out of the woodworks and inserted himself into the conversation. And I'm like, sir, Paul George, you literally brought up Devin's name in the question. You inserted Devin into the conversation. So now he has every right to comment on it if he wants to. Like, let's not try and have this revisionist history here as if Devin just popped in to cause drama. Like, you may not have you may be telling yourself you didn't intend to create some sort of drama with the way that you worded that question, but you knew that it could. And you did it anyway. You chose to do that. So this is all on you.
I like to pretend that I know Devin Booker, but if I did know Devin Booker, I feel like he's the kind of guy that like wakes up to the stuff and is like, wait, why am I trending for the wrong reasons? Like he focuses on himself, family, teammates, and all that. Like he doesn't care about this drama. Show it on the court. Paul George, back it up or just shut your mouth.
I agree.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not the only one roasting PG-13. A lot of guys on the court have been doing it lately. Defense not where it used to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, one last thing. I think a lot of this stems from, and even like Clay did it the right way by owning up to that. He was like, yeah, I was stupid or whatever. I think he even mentioned it within this soundbite here is that I think that a lot of players, which I understand because it's a hyper competitive job that you have. He said he was little bro. But when little bro gets bigger than you and now little bro can beat you up, you feel some type of way about it, which is a natural reaction, but don't double down. Take the Clay route and be like, yeah, I was in my feels. I get it.
Yeah.
And everyone respects you more for it because we understand where you're coming from. It's the doubling down when you know that you did the thing and now you're trying to put the blame on somebody else that bothers everybody.
Yeah, you know what? I
Life
think
lessons with Lindsay.
you took the professional route here and broke it all down very well. We kind of got a little.
You can throw your shade. I ain't mad
I
at
get
it.
all emotional.
I ain't mad at it.
Let me break this down on how this should work as adults. I don't understand the adults.
Break it up, children.
But
Break
no,
it
her
up.
point is correct. I mean, at the end of the day, PG inserted Book from the beginning, and now he's, kind of pissed off that Book is responding very subtly too. Like Book ain't having elaborate conversations about it. It's like one-liners, and then PG's going off. But you know what? You know what this feels like, Lens? It feels like a dude who knows he's at the end and knows that he's not going to have an opportunity on the court to make good on the shit that he's saying. So he's using these platforms to kind of try to even the score or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, like, get out your feelings, bro.
Especially with the current state of the Clippers, too. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to wonder if that's what part of this is, too.
Yeah.
He sees what Book's been able to get here in Phoenix, and he goes, I used all my leverage to get this situation, to get a Kawhi who is in load management hell, to deal with all this, where I thought I was getting what Book is sitting at right now. I thought I was going to get the next big three. I thought this was going to be that place, and I'm sure that probably is not a comfortable
Can I
feeling
give you a
either.
hot take? I'm kind of mad. So I want to say some stuff.
That's fine.
All right, so I'm going to try to ease my way into this without saying too much, but let's just say I got it from a good source that if the Clippers were playing somebody other than the Suns in last year's playoff, PG would have played.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I'm keeping it 100. PG
That's
would have
interesting.
played,
That's really interesting.
but he didn't. And so
Can I ask follow-ups on this?
Go ahead.
I don't want to get
no,
you.
go ahead.
like-
I'm good.
I'm trying to figure out the reasoning behind this. Is it that you didn't think that it was that did PG think that if he came back, they still wouldn't have a chance to win, and so he didn't want to risk it? Or did PG think the opposite, that the Clippers would just be able to roll through the Suns and he'd come back afterwards? I don't know that you even have an answer to that, but that's what I would be curious to know.
I mean, listen, if I had to give my honest opinion on that, I just think that this has been stirring up behind the scenes for a minute. And I think he didn't want Devin to have that leverage. So it's like, okay, 'cause if I get in there and get smoked, then it is what it is. And you know what? I've seen this in real life. Like, I've seen it in real life. I've been out playing ball in the inner city, and there are certain guys that got these beefs, and they'll go up to a gym and they'll see homie playing. They'll be like, all right, I'll come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. So he decided to take a pass on that. I believe if they weren't playing the Suns, he'd have played. He would at least try to play in that series.
I think that was a good business decision. Did we all see how Devin Booker played?
Yeah.
I don't think there was very few defenders in this game at 100% that were going to stop him. So I think PG was probably in the right, knowing that it was going to look like he had lost a step.
Right.
I can't blame somebody for making a informed business decision. I won't knock him entirely for that, but also a little bit.
Oh,
I'll give him a little bit.
I mean, that's some chicken ass stuff right there.
But from an injury perspective, you do get it.
He was hurt. He was right at the borderline.
Get it.
He was right at the borderline. And like I said,
he's older too. Like I don't think I would risk it. If I were in his position, I wouldn't risk it.
It's the playoffs.
Still, though.
It's the playoffs.
I know, but I get it.
Again, tomorrow ain't guaranteed to anybody.
Yep.
And a guy like Paul George that has gone through it needs to take every opportunity he has to try to win that ring while it's still available.
I mean, that is
I think he made a good business decision, though, because I think he would have got smoked not playing so long and having to deal with Book. Because that's the part we're not talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is you make that decision. You got to sit down really with your team and you got to say, do I make that decision? But if I make that decision, I want the smoke.
Yeah.
And you ain't no turning back from that. So like if you come in and you're not quite right,
yeah,
and Book is roasting your ass for 45 every night.
Because you can't even if you came out afterwards and you're like, yeah, I'm still hurt, everyone's going to be like, that's an excuse.
That's an excuse.
It's a lose-lose both ways.
Correct.
For that.
Correct.
So I get it.
I'm just going to say, enjoy James Harden, PG.
If you guys want to throw shade at Paul George, don't do it on Twitter. Just do it in the comments here. But make sure you're wearing your Shady Rays while you do it. We're talking about premium polarized sunglasses, gear that is built to last. And the best thing about Shady Rays is that if you don't love them, you can exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And right now, exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Also, our friends over at FOCO, they always have our back for Arizona sports, and they have yours too. You can get your hands on the best gear around by visiting foco.com. That is FOCO, and using the code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use that code PHNX and get 10% off. And FOCO is a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. You see a lot of the tchotchkes we have here at PHNX came from our friends over at FOCO. So again, that code is PHNX. All right, we're going to round out today's show with a fun little game. Espo's back, which means he brought the shenanigans, and that includes a game.
It's the game sweeping the nation. It's 2 takes and a fake.
Oh, boy.
The premise is simple, everybody. I'm going to give you 3 different takes from yesterday's Suns game on social media. You have to figure out which 2 are real and which one was fake.
Oh, no.
Emma, please, let's show our first one here. The first one from @SunsNerd34. Dominating was so much better than Nurkic, dude. We'll be complaining about this guy all season. All right, let's move to our next one.
Okay.
From Corey @ThirdQuarterBook. For a guy whose sole purpose is grabbing boards, Nurkic is really bad at grabbing boards. And number 3, Slim Reaper with 2 M's says, get Nurkic off this team, man. How is bro so bad? He can't rebound, can't post up, and he sucks in the pick and roll and post defense. Which one's the fake?
Who goes first?
This is tough.
I think I know it.
Okay, what is it? What are you guessing?
I think the third is fake.
You think the third
I
is
think
fake?
the first 2 are real and the last one is fake.
Lindsay?
Can I see them one more time, Emma? Just roll through them real quick. One more time here. Because, this is a tough one. Get Nurk off this team, man. How is bro so bad?
No, that's the last one.
Yeah, that's the third one.
For a guy whose sole purpose is grabbing boards, Nurk is really bad at grabbing boards, okay? Dominating was so much better than Nurk, dude, is. We'll be complaining about this all season.
I'm going with the second one. That's fake.
Fine, I'll go first. Why not?
First,
Lindsay Smith, you are the winner of 2 takes and a fake. The @SunsNerd34 was the fake that I wrote, poor grammar included, to try to throw you off.
That's for sure.
As well. So, yeah, there was some nerd.
So hold on, you created a fake account to do this?
No, we Photoshop.
Yeah.
That's so much like Gerald. That's so much like Gerald. No,
That's a way throwback. Callback if you guys remember that one.
Photoshopped the fake. So yeah, there was some Nurk hate out there on X or whatever the hell we're calling it today. So,
and I get it, but I also don't get it because I understand that if you were a DA person, right? If DA was your guy, I understand feeling some type of way about the person who comes in and replaces him. But I don't think that it's fair. I think you need to give Nurk the benefit of the doubt. And I also think you need to realize, like, it's preseason. If you are getting that worked up about preseason basketball.
Gerald said, bless you, Flex.
sorry. No, you're good.
I love that Flex just assumed I have burner accounts to say stupid shit.
No, I'm saying.
Have you read my account? I say stupid shit without a burner account.
Because I'm looking at the stuff and I'm like, okay, so the fake one, how did you pull that off? But okay,
Emma is a Photoshop wizard. That's how we pulled it off.
That's facts. Oh my goodness gracious.
Hey, back to what you were saying about Nurk. Yeah, people got to really calm down, man. And what bothers me is that we talked about this on a previous show. We're Suns fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we root for the team. DeAndre didn't want to be here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's clear. I mean, that's no longer did he request a trade? Yes. He called his agent. He told his agent to call the Phoenix Suns and tell them. And that's another thing I'm going to be clear about today. I haven't really spoken on this, but I got confirmation on this. He called his agent, said, call the Phoenix Suns and tell them I prefer to be traded. I don't want to be in Phoenix. Okay.
Which was something a lot of people were speculating about based off of what DA himself said during media day with the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. So after I heard that, I got made some calls, got some confirmation. And yes, he wanted out of Phoenix. So, I mean, are we going to play this game all year and defend a guy that didn't want to be here?
I mean, yeah, it'll probably at least be for the next 6 months. We'll probably go back and forth.
It's going to be a trending conversation.
I mean, didn't want to be here, guys. Like, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. All over social media, podcast, videos, DeAndre Ayton's name will still get brought up, and it's going to be bumping heads.
Take my man's name out your mouth. I don't need to hear DA. No, he's an ex. I don't need, the way I handled all my exes, I'm done once it's done, right? I don't need to, no, done, all right? You're gone.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. How many times on this program, especially over the last couple of weeks, have we talked about NBA side pieces? If you want to continue rooting for DeAndre Ayton, absolutely, you should continue rooting for DeAndre Ayton as your NBA side piece. The same way that some of us still root for Mikal and Cam. Yeah. Like, you are more than allowed to do that. Regardless of what Saul tells you, you're allowed to do that if you want to.
Okay, but
do that. But you're a Suns fan, so you have to understand that, like, DA is no longer on this team in the same way that I have to understand that Mikal and Cam are no longer on this team. That doesn't mean that I hate them and I wish them ill will. It just means that this is the team that I have. These are the players that are on the team, and I'm going to have to figure out how to be a fan of that. And as my side piece, we'll watch Trailblazers games or Nets games or whatever game. That's just how it works.
Yeah, let me ask, though. Isn't side pieces very much like Fight Club? First rule of both is you don't talk about them.
I mean,
I don't want to hear you talk about DA, all right?
You're not wrong, but I make you talk about Cam and Mikal occasionally on this program. So I'll probably make you talk about DA occasionally on this as well.
You see, but I like Cam and Mikal. Your argument is okay. The way you feel is okay. Because Cam and Mikal didn't want out.
Yeah.
They love Phoenix. They still come here. Mm-hmm. Like, they want to be here. I can get behind that. I just can't get behind a guy like Joe Johnson. When Joe Johnson did that, people will go back and say that's the worst thing Sarver did, letting him go to Atlanta. He should have matched it. But I will say this, for everything that Robert Sarver did terrible for this organization, and I don't agree. I wish we would have kept Joe Johnson, probably win a championship. But I will say this. I remember it vividly. Robert Sarver saying, I called Joe Johnson at midnight and asked him, I am going to match this offer. Are you okay with that? And Joe Johnson said, no, do not match. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be a decoy for Steve Nash.
Okay, well, if we don't have two sources on that, I don't trust the guy that said it, first off.
Okay.
And second off, we do not defend the disgraced future or the disgraced former owner on this program.
I'm not defending him. No. What I'm saying is the premise of a guy not wanting to be on the organization. Yes. I'm always down with that. If you don't want to be here, get the hell out, because I'm a Suns fan. Listen, I love Devin Booker. Man, y'all got me going today, man. Listen, I love Devin Booker, okay? But let me say this. If Devin Booker ended up leaving Phoenix, nobody get no ideas. He's not going anywhere. Book's going to have a statue. He's going to be at 20 years.
Suns
Okay.
Twitter's going to go crazy.
But
now.
if Devin left, I've had people ask me this. Yo, if Devin leaves, man, are you rooting for Devin or the Suns? I'm like, man, the hell with Devin. I'm a Suns fan. I root for Devin to do well, but I'm not rooting for Devin. This ain't. I'm a Suns fan before anything.
Yeah,
so,
but this is old man, and this isn't. I feel the same way. We're old man on our lawn. This is a new age of fans in a lot of ways, where it's player first, team second, which drives me insane. But I get it. But yeah, and you're wrong about the Joe Johnson thing. I'm just.
And my gut talk to me. So. That didn't happen?
Hey, no, I'm not saying that didn't happen. But my point is, if you insult me by lowballing me, that's on you. And if you don't come back from that, that's on you. Because you lowball me, and then you wait for somebody else to say that they value me before you're actually going to do anything about it. Screw you.
So hold on.
And get the hell out of here.
No, so
Not
that's
you,
the
him,
no. That's
him, though,
that's
you
the.
know,
I'm
like-
sorry. Lynn. That's the money portion of it. I get that. That's the money portion. But the actual on the basketball thing, Joe Johnson didn't want to be a decoy anymore.
Yeah, well, if you asked me which of those two I would have rather had for another 10 years, I'm siding with
Joe Johnson, of course. I mean, he made 6 All-Star teams after that.
Yep.
No, I think
Listen,
it's-
if we keep Joe, we probably got a championship. But I'm just saying, Joe didn't want to be here. If he didn't want to be here. So I'm always, I guess that's the bad part of me, man. I'm a Suns guy. Like, if you don't want to put that damn jersey on and rock in the court in the arena with the fans that, bleed purple and orange, get the hell out, man. I got no sympathy for somebody that doesn't want to be here.
99% of the time, I agree with you. Just give me the Sophie's choice of having to sound like I am sympathetic to that man who drove this franchise into the ditch, or Joe Johnson. I just couldn't do it.
I got you.
Specifically, like I look at it like we all cover the team. So like I don't know if I would go as far as the Devin Booker thing, but like with DeAndre Ayton, like I'm not going to pay attention to what he's doing every night. Even with Mikal and Cam, I'm like, they're on another team. I'm going to focus on the guys we got.
Yeah.
But the Devin Booker thing, that would be tough.
I think all three of you and Saul are wrong.
Okay.
All three of you and Saul are wrong.
Tell us.
I can be a fan however I want to be a fan. You're not allowed to judge me for it.
I got you.
Suns might be number 1, but if I want to have 2, 3, 4, or 5 side pieces, well, then I will.
Lindsay, let me.
I get it.
Let's cut that. B, I'm just going to say it. I can judge you however I want.
You are entitled to your wrong opinion, Espo.
Says the woman that just gave us the most wrong opinion we've had.
That's fine. It's
Man,
okay. You guys
if you
can
don't
have
want
fun with
to,
that.
if you don't want to be a Sun, get the hell out.
No, I agree. From a team like player perspective, a fan of the team from a player perspective. Hold on, I'm struggling here.
Go ahead, get it.
As a fan of the team, and if the player doesn't want to be on my team, then I don't really want you to be on the team either. Not just because I don't like you necessarily, but because it's going to be bad for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Inevitably, it's going to create chaos in the locker room. There's going to be tension. It's going to become an issue that now affects me and my fandom, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Think of it like when
So
you
go ahead and
have a certain job and there's that one toxic employee or whatever, and you just know they want to quit, and it does interrupt the chemistry of the
You know what?
Sorry, brother.
You know what also causes issues in a workplace? 5 side pieces.
You know what also causes issues in the workplace? Gerald in the chat just throwing shade at me right now.
Lin. More lessons.
Gerald
with
has called me
Lin.
Lin like 18 times since who
That
dropped
one's
that
sticking.
one?
Somebody said it. It
Oh
was a
my
super
gosh,
chat.
it
It was a super
was.
chat, and you said Lindsay,
Who
and he was
was
like,
it?
"Nah, that's Lin. That's Lin."
Oh, God, I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna end up remembering in 5 minutes after
Somebody,
we say
whoever
goodbye.
sent it, say who sent it. I know y'all listening.
I don't know if they're in here today.
No.
Nate said, imagine if Saul was on this episode.
Oh, we would be going on for another 30 minutes
Right.
arguing about it. Saul has talked about it though. Saul's on your team here in Espo, your guys's. Well, I guess all three of you. You guys are on the same page as Saul. See, I'm Suns first, but it's okay to have a few soft spots around the league, like people or teams that you have a little soft spot for.
1 or
I'm okay
2,
with
but
that.
not 5.
Nah, just say.
No, I'm joking.
Just simply say it with me, Lindsay. You're dead to me. That's all you have to
You're
say.
dead to me, Espo.
when there's a break.
Welcome back. Did we
Hold on.
just start a feud?
What do you mean start?
Do
We've
we
had
just
2
throw
years of a feud.
fuel on the fire to the
Yes.
feud?
We
Okay.
doubled down on the feud.
Perfect.
I gotta
Ding,
say
ding,
something,
ding.
Lynn.
What?
So when you did the BetMGM and you said, "Do we like money?"
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say yes, unless it's $1 billion, because then Lynn won't like me.
Maybe not. We did get a super chat from Shioban. Thank you so much. Said, I love Mikal and Cam, but Suns for life if you not later. So then you get it. You love Mikal and Cam. You don't hate them. There's a whole, my whole argument here.
I don't hate them. I just don't pay attention to them.
I don't follow every single game they play in, but if they come across my feed, I'm going to still follow them on social media.
Scroll right
if
by.
Mikal tweets something that's funny, I'm going to like it.
Who dat?
It doesn't mean that I'm watching all 82 games.
Yep.
Scroll.
Y'all are insane.
Espo, you're such a fucking liar.
You are.
I'm
You
not.
are.
I root for Kellen
Espo's a liar.
Cam. I root for Kellen Cam.
I don't wish them wrong.
And I still root. I want DA to be okay,
Yeah.
but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't feel. I'm glad DA's gone because there was a lot of drama.
Yeah.
We need to have.
Absolutely.
Look, I wish them well as people.
Yeah.
Move on.
All right.
On to the next one.
Well, with that, I think we will also move on. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Valley Voices. We really appreciated you taking some time to hang out with us and sharing your thoughts on the Suns. Real quick, tell the people where they can find you and all the things.
Yeah. Twitter or X, whatever you guys want to call it, TikTok, YouTube. I've been covering the Phoenix Suns for years now, just doing videos, and that eventually, went into live shows and YouTube shorts, and I'm all over the place. YouTube is my number one uploading platform, but I'm all over the place. Just search Suns Geek and you will find me. And seriously, you guys, this was a huge, I'm overwhelmed in the best way. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you all for bringing me on here, and hopefully, sooner or later we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a blast. And like I said, I know I used it as an ad transition, but you're officially in the inner circle because we argued on the show while you were here, which means you are a part of the squad. That's for certain.
Honored.
Thank you all for joining us. If you are here on YouTube, hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you are listening wherever you listen to your podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. And of course, you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can also follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. You can follow Brandon at Suns Geek. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
I gotta ask this, Flex. Was your bony ass in this seat while I was gone? Because my ass groove is all messed up. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.